السلام علیکم و رحمت الله. اعوذ بالله من الشیطان الرجیم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم و صلی الله علی محمد و آله الطاهرین. اللهم صل علی محمد. السلام على المهدي الذي وعد الله عز وجل به الأمم يجمع به الكلم ويلم به الشعب وينجز به وعد المؤمنين. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم: لو لم يبق من الدنيا إلا يوم واحد لطول الله عز وجل ذلك اليوم حتى يبعث الله رجلا من ولدي اسمه اسمي وكنيته كنيتي يملأ الله به الأرض قسطا وعدلا كما ملئت ظلما وجورا. نبی گرامی اسلام محمد مصطفی صلی الله علیه و آله و سلم فرمود اگر از عمر دنیا یک روز بیشتر باقی نمانده باشد، خداوند مردی را از دودمان ما و از فرزندان من که نامش نام من، کنیه‌اش کنیه من، او را مبعوث خواهد ساخت حتی یبعث الله رجلا من ولدی اسمه اسمی و کنیته کنیتی یملأ الله به الارض. زمین را پر از عدل و داد خواهد کرد آنگونه که پر از ظلم و جور شده باشد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. Sheikh, after having expressed salam to all of you and expressed salutations to the 12th Holy Imam Ajjalallahu Farajahu Sharif, mentions a beautiful hadith of the Holy Prophet, the meaning of which is, if only one day was left for this world, Allah would send a man from my family whose name is like my name and whose technonym is like mine, that his kunya is like mine. He would fill the earth with justice the way it was filled with injustice.
تعمداً من بحث رو عوض کردم که دیروز عرض کردم روز جمعه روز محبوب ماست، روز حضرت صاحب هست، باید راجع به او صحبت کرد. من امروز قصد دارم که فلسفه وجودی امام عصر در زمان غیبت رو رصد کنم و بشمارم.
He said, I intentionally changed the discussion from the discussion of test and trial and tribulation to the discussion about our beloved, because it is the day of Friday, and that is why we would like to talk about the 12th Holy Imam Ajjalallahu Farajahu Sharif, and the main subject is the philosophy of the existence of the 12th Holy Imam Ajjalallahu Farajahu Sharif.
اولین فلسفه از فلسفه های وجودی حضرت صاحب عجل الله تعالی فرجه الشریف امید به آینده است که به جامعه پمپاژ میکنه. البته امید به چند قسم داریم. یک امید واهیه. امید واهی یعنی طرف الکی خوشه، خیلی توجهی به امور نداره، فقط امید داره اما راه نمیفته، موتور محرک نداره. دوم امید واقعی است که ما شیعیان و ما اثنا عشریه و امامیه این قسم دوم رو باید داشته باشیم که جامعه پویا و متحرکی باشه، نه جامعه ساکن و جامعه راکد، بلکه باید پویا باشه.
He said one of the philosophy of the existence of the 12th Holy Imam is that we have hope in the future. But he said hope are of two kinds. One is that useless kind of hope, meaning a person is just hopeful and is stagnant, is static. There's nothing, is oblivious. It's just like saying, okay, the 12th Imam will come and then inshallah we will have good things and so on. You don't do anything. You stay where you are. And the second kind of hope is, he said, the real hope. The hope that makes the society to progress and to develop. And this is the hope that we the Shias should have.
دوری از یأس، تقویت امید، ایمان به ضمانت اجرایی، اینها از مواهبی است که انسان امیددار به آینده با خودش همراه داره. آیه‌ای در قرآن داریم که می‌فرماد والله لا یخلف المیعاد، والله لا یخلف المیعاد. وجود مقدس امام صادق علیه السلام ذیل این آیه شریفه فرمود که القائم من المیعاد، اعتقاد به وجود مقدس حضرت مهدی علیه السلام این مصداق این آیه شریفه که الله لا یخلف المیعاد هست، که البته ضمانت اجرایی را نیز به دنبال خواهد داشت.
When we talk of hope, we talk of distance from despair and faith of somebody who will control this whole universe in the proper way. In fact, a guarantee of such a person. He mentions the verse of the Holy Quran that says, Wallahu la yukhliful mi'ad. Allah never goes against what He has promised. And then he mentioned a hadith of Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam that says, Al-Qa'imu min al-Mi'ad. That Al-Qa'im, who is in the name of the 12th Holy Imam Ajjalallahu Farajahu Sharif, is from among the promises. And that actually is like telling you that, you will have a proper Islamic government which will be controlled very well. So it's as if you are guaranteed for that, because Allah says, La yukhliful mi'ad. The promise Allah will not go against the promise. And according to Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam, this promise is the 12th Holy Imam Ajjalallahu Farajahu Sharif.
امامی که ما معتقدیم زنده هست و تحت اشراف او زندگی میکنیم، به یمنهی رزق الورا و به وجودهی ثبتت الارض و السما. هر بنده اعمال ما هم هر هفته ای به رؤیت مبارکش خواهد رسید. آیات قرآن هم در این رابطه بسیار زیاده. ولقد کتبنا فی الزبور من بعد الذکر ان الارض یرثها عبادی الصالحون. آیه دیگه ای که بسیار هم زیباست، و نرید ان نمن علی الذین استضعفوا فی الارض و نجعلهم ائمه و نجعلهم الوارثین، که همه اینها نوید بخش حکومت جهانی پر از عدل و داد مهدوی عجل الله تعالی فرجه الشریف است.
He says that our Imam is not only alive, but we also are living through him, because he is the intermediary of grace. And this has been established through different riwayat, including Ziyarat Jami'ah Kabira that some of us recite. For example, the verse that the hadith that says بِيُمْنِهِ رُزِقَ الْوَرَى, it is through his existence and through his barakah that everyone, the whole entire realm of the human beings get sustenance. And بيمنه ورزق الورى
وبوجوده ثبتت الأرض
وبوجوده ثبتت الأرض والسماء, and by his existence the heavens and the earth are stable. So you can imagine, it's because of his existence that we get sustenance. It's because of his existence that we can stay in this world. The world is also stable. It's just because of him. And this is ontological, not that, because he's there, then Allah wants this earth to be there. No, it's not like that. It is he who is controlling. And every week, our a'mal also is shown to him, and he sees that. And then he quoted some very interesting and well-known verses of the Holy Quran, for example, which promises the 12th Imam's government that is going to come. وَلَقَدْ كَتَبْنَا فِي الزَّبُورِ, verily we wrote in the Zabur, أَنَّ الْأَرْضَ يَرِثُهَا عِبَادُنَا الصَّالِحُونَ, that verily the earth will be taken over by our virtuous and faithful servants. Or وَنُرِيدُ أَن نَمُنَّ عَلَى الَّذِينَ اسْتُضْعِفُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, verily we would like to give great favor to those people who have been downtrodden on the earth, or who have been oppressed on the earth. اسْتُضْعِفُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَنَجْعَلَهُمْ أَئِمَّةً, and we will make them leaders. وَنَجْعَلَهُمْ الْوَارِثِينَ, and we are going to make them those who are the inheritors of the earth. Meaning that, it's like there is a very bright future that is given to us in the Holy Quran. That do not think that this kind of system that you find, which is full of oppression and injustice in the different parts of the world, this will stay the way it is. No, there is a future which is very radiant. And these two verses are very good examples of that promise.
دومین فلسفه از فلسفه های وجودی امام غائب برای ما اینه که آگاهی بخش، بصیرت افزاست. عزیزان، ما که اعتقاد به اون وجود مقدس داریم، باید در جهت گسترش آگاهی اجتماعی، فردی، خانوادگی، سیاسی، فرهنگی تلاش کنیم و نشستن در یک جا و الغوث گفتن اثر بخش نخواهد بود. باید موتور محرک درونی دینامیکی داشت تا فردا که حضرت تشریف آوردن به تعبیر اون دعای عهد، دعوت الداع الی الحاضر و البادی، به شهر برو، به روستا برو، به هر جای دنیا به من گفتن برو، باید بگم چشم. و این است موتور محرک شیعه.
He said another philosophy of the existence of the 12th Imam is that because we know of his coming, what it enables us to actually be very dynamic. It tells us that let us think about the situation of the society and how to progress it, the political dimension, the economic dimension, the social dimension, all these dimensions. It makes us think that how do we progress and make this develop and not be stagnant in what we are, for example, and not sit down only. So the fact that the 12th Imam is there and he is going to come makes us actually increase our awareness in all these walks and thus be ready for him.
نکته سومی که در اینجا مطرح هست بحث انگیزه برای فعالیت برای رسیدن به قله است. خواهران بزرگوارم، گرچه در بسیاری از ادیان بحث موعود گرایی مطرحه، اما در اسلام عزیز ما در تشیع به ویژه بحث عملگرایی بودن، فعالیت داشتن، غله معین و مشخص داشتن و تلاش برای رسیدن به این غله بسیار مشهوده، نه مهدی نوعی و یا یک واژه‌ای که مقصدش ناکجا آباده.
Another very important thing that, by thinking about the 12th Imam or by knowing the reality of the 12th Imam, because he's a model for us, is that we should struggle and strive for an exalted purpose. It's not that, there is a kind of stagnant and continuation of a life. For example, it's not like the other religions. They say that they have a maw'ud, that means they are promised that a Messiah will come, for example. We have it in the Jews, we have it in the Christians and all that. Although they are promised that, but there is no kind of thing that actually makes them struggle and strive for a very high perfection. But with regard to us, we are told that no, we, in the absence of the 12th Imam, we should actually have an active kind of waiting and awaiting, that active intizar. And that's why you'll find in some of the riwayat, we are clearly told that those who are actually actively waiting for the Imam, these are their characteristics. That they are like those people who have been martyred in the way of Allah. They are like those people who are fighting with the Holy Prophet and so on. So this is the kind of, maw'ud and the person who is promised for us. It doesn't make us sit, it makes us move. It tells us that our aim is that high pinnacle of perfection. It's not like what the others have.
از ویژگی‌های دیگر اعتقاد به موعود در مکتب حیات بخش تشیع بخش دلارامی است، آرام بخش دل هاست. آدم وقتی که از گردونه های دنیا خسته میشه، کوفته میشه، دلش گرفته میشه، یاد حضرت آرام بخشه، به گونه ای که برای فرد منتظر یک حالت مراقبه دائمی میاره، دائما مراقبه داره، لطافت روح میاره، روحش لطیف میشه، قلبش آرام و لطیف میشه، از غفلت دوری میکنه، به گونه ای که فرد هم خودش آرامه و فرد منتظر آرامش بخش به اطراف، خانواده و همچنین اجتماعش هست. چرا که عشق خاصیتش اگر پاکیزه باشه لطافت روح خواهد بود.
Another thing that the knowing about the existence of the 12th Imam brings about is that a state of serenity and peace of the heart, because you know that there is a savior who is going to come, and that actually is whenever, for example, you find that, especially this is narrated that on Friday evening, there are some people who really feel about the 12th Imam, they remember the 12th Imam, and there is, even when you try to remember the 12th Imam and you weep for the 12th Imam, you have that peace of the heart that at least he is there. This is the kind of the one whom I'm waiting for. This is the kind of personality that I'm waiting for. He says that it is not only serenity in yourself, but serenity in others. And such a person who gains serenity is vigilant always, because he knows that the 12th Imam is there, that he is the intermediary of grace, that my actions he knows every week and it is presented to him and so on. So number one, he is vigilant. Number two, he makes his heart to be very subtle and latif. And then he says that he also distances himself from ghafla and obliviousness. And not only is he at peace, But because he is at peace, those who are surrounding him also become at peace.
و اگر ما مراقب نباشیم این انتظار ویرانگر خواهد بود، به جای اینکه موتور و محرک باشه مخرب خواهد بود. یه شعری در فارسی راجع به باران میگه باران که در لطافت طبعش ملال نیست، در باغ لاله روید و در شوره‌زار خس. باران که هیچ کس در لطافتش حرف نداره، همین باران اگر در باغ ببارد لاله ها در میاد، گل در میاد، اما اگر در شوره‌زار ببارد خس و خاشاک در میاد. یعنی اعتقاد به حضرت حجت اگر در قلب پاکیزه باشد انسان رو لطیف میکنه، گل و لاله و بهار در قلبش ایجاد خواهد شد. و اگر قلب سالم نباشه نه تنها مفید نیست بلکه محل خس و خاشاک خواهد شد.
He says this belief in the coming of the 12th Imam and in the existence of the 12th Imam sometimes is not only not beneficial to a person, but it also vanquishes a person's heart. It depends on what heart has this i'tiqad and this belief in the 12th Holy Imam, Ajjalallahu Farajahu Sharif. He mentions a very beautiful poetry whereby he says that, with regard to rain, we know that rain is so beautiful, it is so subtle, there is no question about it. But it depends on where it falls. When it falls in a beautiful garden with good soil, you find that flowers are grown. But in other places you'll find that thorns are grown because they don't have that same soil that, for example, flowers grow in. So he says that the reality is this i'tiqad and belief in the 12th Imam is very powerful, but it depends on where it settles. So if you have a good heart, you will find that the natija and the effect is that you will be waiting for the 12th Imam. You will always be conversing with the 12th Imam. You will be, for example, doing dua for the 12th Imam. You are going to wait for the 12th Imam actively. But you will find that if a person has i'tiqad and belief, but his heart is not ready, he will also make others deviate. For example, there was a group in Iran and in other places, perhaps there are groups like that. They say you should do a lot of sins so that the 12th Imam comes, because we hear that the whole world is going to be full of mischief, and Allah and the 12th Imam will make it full of justice. Kama muli'at jawran. So make it in such a way you do sins. Tell other people to do sins quickly so that the 12th Imam comes. This is something completely wrong. This is not the philosophy of waiting. So it depends on the heart of a person. If the heart is subtle, the heart is pure, you will find that there is a lot of activity. Calling the 12th Imam, doing good things for the 12th Imam, preparing yourself in terms of aqaid, akhlaq and other beautiful characteristics. This will follow the pure heart's i'tiqad and belief. But a person who is not pure in heart and is sinful, a time will come that he would be misled. He would say, yeah, true, we have to make the sins more so that the 12th Imam comes quickly, as we are told that the earth is going to be like that. So this is another point.
نکته بعدی بحث امنیت. انسان منتظر هم خودش ایمنه، هم ایمن سازه، به کسی متعرض نمیشه، به حریم کسی تجاوز نمیکنه. چرا؟ چون دائما میداند دو چشم بینا دائما او رو تحت کنترل خودش قرار داده. مؤمن کسی است که المسلم و المؤمن من سلم الناس من یده و لسانه. زبانش، جانش، چشمش، گوشش، دستش، پاش به کسی متعرض نخواهد شد، چرا که نام نامی حضرت مولا رو بر خودش ناظر میبینه. نکته بعدی صبر انسان مؤمن به وجود مقدس حضرت مهدی عجل الله تعالی فرجه الشریف دائما صبر داره، اما نه صبر منفی، صبر پویا، صبری که همراه هست با برنامه ریزی دقیق. یک مادر در فرزند داری میگه من فرزند رو بزرگ بکنم، از همین الان در فکرش اینه که سرباز برای حضرت صاحب درست کنه. شما مادرها کارخانه انسانسازی و خادمسازی و سربازسازی برای حضرت صاحب دارید و هیچ شغلی بالاتر از این برای شما نخواهد بود. و بدانید که وجود مقدس حضرت صاحب سرباز نیاز داره و نیاز دارد که ما برای او نوکر تربیت کنیم. انشاءالله که در این عرصه موفق خواهید بود. پس برنامه ریزی انسان باید داشته باشه. انسان بی برنامه خفه خواهد شد در این کشمکش، در این گیر و دار. و اما افراد برنامه دار در آینده میتونن فائق باشن.
Another noteworthy point is the protection one has while he is waiting and he has belief on the 12th Imam. Not only is he protected, he knows that he is under protection because the 12th Imam is watching him. The 12th Imam loves him as his follower, but also you will find that others are protected from him. And he mentions a very beautiful verse or a hadith that says, Al-Muslim man saluma an-nas min yadihi wa lisanihi. That a Muslim is the one whom the people are protected from his hands and his tongue. So the way he is protected, he also makes others protected from his tongue and from his hand and so on. So this is the situation that happens. He never transgresses and goes beyond the limits, and he doesn't, for example, usurp other people's rights and so on. So this is another thing, because he knows that the 12th Imam knows of his actions, all right? And primarily it is Allah also who knows all his actions. But because of his belief that the 12th Imam gets his a'mal, he is ashamed and therefore he is vigilant and therefore he doesn't do those things which are contrary to the Sharia. And another thing, another point of the philosophy of the existence of the 12th Imam is that, this also brings patience in a person. Patience, but an active kind of patience. Because he knows that there is going to be a victory. He knows there is a lot of zulm that is going on. Many people are imprisoned without any, we can say, any reason, all right? Many people are actually attacked. You'll find just to turn the news, for example. There was a time when South Sudan was attacked just to turn the news from one position to another. So you can kill so many people just to turn for the news. So there is a lot of such activities going on, and some people really feel it, especially when we know that our brethren are being killed, innocent civilians are being killed in Palestine every day. And we see this in the news and sometimes we feel it, but this is constant and it breaks the heart. So we feel like actually trying to revolt against such people. We feel like being revolutionary against them, but then we are told that take everything with wisdom, know what is to be done when. So be patient. But he says this patience should be dynamic patience. Not that, okay, I'm patient, something will happen. No. There is activity that is accompanying this patience. So, for example, he says that such a person would always have a program. And this is a very important point that Ustad has mentioned, that in your lifetime have a program. On Tuesday, what will you do? On Wednesday, what will you do? On Monday, what will you do? From morning, have at least a general program, all right? Sometimes you'll not be able to do it this way, that from 7 to 8 I'm going to do this, from 8 to 9 I'm going to cook, for example, from 9 to 10, that cannot be done, but at least a general thing on that on Wednesday what will I do, on Tuesday what will I do, and have a small whiteboard with you and write down that every day and see how powerful it is in your lifetime. You'll see many of the things that you are not doing, you are procrastinating, you are doing it because you have that near you. So he says that all of us should have a kind of program that teaches us how to prepare for the 12th Imam. One of the things that he mentions also, which is extremely important, he says that especially the mothers, because it is the mothers, the factory of the mothers that produce soldiers who will be the soldiers of the 12th Holy Imam, Ajjalallahu Farajahu Sharif, and therefore the mothers should struggle and have a very good timetable to train their children in the proper way, to give them responsibilities slowly and gradually, to teach them the true religion, to teach them ethics, overtly and covertly, directly and indirectly. Sometimes, I have seen some young boys and young girls acting like elders when their mothers or fathers are not there, and really, literally acting like elders in a very good akhlaqi manner. Why? Because even the indirect movements of the mother are very important for the child. It's not only instruction that, for example, my dear little child, don't do this, don't do that. That's good up to a certain level. But sometimes at the time of prayers, he always says that my mom is doing wudu. So you'll find that he will also act to do wudu. Why? Because you are a role model for him, and so on. So he says that for this also have a time and a timetable of programming your children in such a way that they really become servants and soldiers of the 12th Holy Imam Ajjalallahu Farajahu Sharif.
از نکات بسیار مهمی که برای یک منتظر واقعی در عصر غیبت مطرحه، تقویت روحیه نیایش است. تقویت روحیه نیایش. من خواهش بکنم اینو دقت کنید. با مولا و رهبر و امام خودش عشق بازی کنه و راحت بتونه کلمات محبت آمیز رد و بدل کنه، به گونه ای که دلتنگ اوست، به ویژه روزهای جمعه حس کنه که در زندگیش چیزی کمه اگر یاد او نکنه. نمیدونم تا چه حدی جناب آقای خلفان بتونه این شعر خیلی آرام و نرمیه، مال خودم هست، خیلی وقت بود این عرض کردم. نمیدانم که محبوبم گهی یادم کند یا نه، به یک دیدار کوتاهی دمی شادم کند یا نه. خراب از درد هجرش گشته‌ام، اما نمیدانم به صهبای وصال خویش آبادم کند یا نه. به زندان خیانت‌های نامردان گرفتارم، از این زندان وحشتناک آزادم کند یا نه. به گردون میرسد فریاد جانسوزم، خدایا اعتنایی او به فریادم کند یا نه. معلوم شدید ها؟
One of the things that he says that a person who actively waits for the Imam should do is that he should have a kind of conversation with the 12th Imam, especially on Fridays. And not only Fridays, but now and again, he should talk with the 12th Imam. He should show the love for the 12th Imam. This dua that we recite, dua nutba, it is actually a very powerful dua. The dua in itself shows the identity of Shia, the identity of the 12th Imam, the identity of your love for the 12th Imam. You know, where will I see you? Where are you, O Imam, for example? So not only such du'as, but this conversation should always be there, because he has attention to us. So he says, for example, especially on Fridays, you should, for example, say that that you miss him, number one, and that without his presence there is a loss in your life. And then he recited a poetry about the 12th Imam that he himself has written. Now the poetry I'll try to read, but wherever I don't know how it goes, I'll ask him, inshallah. He says, I do not know that does my beloved remember me sometimes or not. This is how he starts. Nemidanam ke mahbubam gahi yadam kunadiyana. I don't know whether he remember or not. Of course, this is a language which is a language of love, not of despair. He knows that the 12th Imam remembers him, but you know, when you are talking about your beloved, sometimes you talk this way. So he said, I don't know whether my beloved remembers me sometimes or not. He said, Beyik didare kutahi dami shadam kunadiyana. I don't know whether in only one short meeting would he make me happy or not. So it's like he's expecting that, oh 12th Imam, at least show me your face once in a position where I really can see you. Just a short glance, that's all. That's what I'm asking for. And then خراب از
درد هجرش که زمین از بس فراق او دارم و هجران او دارم. خراب از درد هجرش گشته اما نمیدانم به صحبای وصال خویش، یعنی صبحگاهان میتونم من به وصالش برسم، آبادم کند یا نه.
So I have actually been destroyed from inside because of his separation. I don't know, will he gift me with making me meet him in the morning, so that by meeting him I am extremely delighted and I get that I'm rejuvenated, I become young again and I'm fresh again.
خیانت‌های نامردان گرفتارم از این زندان وحشتناک.
به زندان خیانت‌های
نامردان گرفتارم از این زندان وحشتناک.
بله.
آزادم کند یا نه.
آزادم. He says, I am entangled with the imprisonment of those people who do khiyanat on me. I don't know whether he would free me from this prison or not.
خب ادامه میدم. خب شعرش نمیخوام بگم. زمان تمام شد. الان میخوام بیام. 5 دقیقه باید دارم. ساعتم دقیق نیست. نکته بعدی تلاش برای ایجاد حکومت اسلامی است. کسی که منتظر حضرت حجت هست اندیشش اینه که زمینه سازی کند تا حکومت مهدوی که قرآن کریم بهش وعده داد که ان الارض یرثها عبادی الصالحون تحقق پیدا کند. بر این اساس نکته بعدی یعنی 11 مطرحه، باید روحیه جهاد داشته باشد. مثل بعضی نبودن اومدن خدمت امام حسین عرض کردن که آقا من که کشته میخوام بشم، نمیام، اسب و شمشیر خودم رو به تو میدم اما خودم نمیام. که حضرت فرمود اون اسب و اون شمشیر مال خودت، برو دنبال کارت، من اینجا مجاهد جانفشانی کننده میخوام، نه اسب و شمشیر. بله، پس روحیه جهاد باید داشته باشه. و 12 ایثارگر باشه، فداکار باشه، در سایزی که آدم میتونه امروزه نشون بده روحیه حاج قاسم رو داشته باشه. این نحوه جهادگر.
Says another thing that belief in the 12th Imam makes us do is that we start preparing and struggling for the Islamic government in one way or the other. We'll find some people trying to develop themselves in understanding the Islamic government, what it should do and so on. So it trains a person also to be ready for the 12th Imam, such that you'll find that that person is going to train himself in such a way that he is ready for the 12th Imam, not a person who is just stagnant and sitting. So he said the spirit of jihad is infused in such a person just because he knows that the 12th Imam is going to come and he is waiting for the 12th Imam. And lastly, he said the 12th point is that he should have a sacrificing spirit, such that, when the 12th Imam comes and if he is told that, for example, you have to come to the front of the battle, he is ready. He doesn't say that, but I'm a bit weak and I have to be here. No, he doesn't care. Whatever the Imam says, he knows, because the Imam is a wali of Allah and he knows the secrets. He says the best example of our modern times was Haj Qasim Sulaimani, who actually they were reckoning him as a shaheed who was alive, because he had gone through the most dangerous circumstances. There was once I saw a picture of his that he was in the front row of a Friday prayer by the leader of the Daesh there. How would he come there? You need a very brave personality to go to the ranks of the Daesh and they don't know that you are not from them. You see, and such examples. So he said, and then he gave another very beautiful example that when Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam was going towards Karbala to get martyred in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he came to a place where there was a person known as Ibn Hur, not this Hur that we know, another person. So he was known as Ubaidullah ibn Hur. So he tells Ubaidullah ibn Hur that come with me, I'm going towards Karbala and join my ranks and let's go and fight against these people. So Ubaidullah ibn Hur apparently was a rich person. He said that instead of me coming, I'm giving you horses, I'm giving you a lot of weaponry. And Imam says, no, I don't need these, I want you to come. And when Imam also asks him, it's not because the Imam needs his physical support, but Imam wants to emancipate him from the problems that he will encounter because of going against the Imam and because of not doing the right thing. So the thing that is important here that Ustad actually stresses upon is that you have to have a sacrificing spirit, all right? That you are ready. You must have heard of that incident of Harun Makki, that a person came from one of the Islamic countries and told Imam as-Sadiq alayhi salam that we are ready to fight against the government. So Imam as-Sadiq alayhi salam was talking to him, and then he said, okay, fine, go inside that tanur. There was a tanur there which was on. Go inside that tanur. He said, oh Imam, what are you talking about? You want to kill me? You want to... And as they were talking, there was a person known as Harun Makki. He just came He was tired, he was from a journey. And Imam, the first thing after having said salam, Imam said, go inside the tanur. And Harun Makki did not also say anything. Why, Imam, are you, unhappy with me? He just went and put himself there. And Imam was continuing to talk. And this person who was with the Imam said, I'm worried. There's going to be problem. He must have been burnt. And Imam says, go and see what has happened. As he opened the tanur, he saw Harun Makki is safe and he's in a very beautiful garden environment. So the Imam then said that how many of such people are there ready to fight? So this sacrificing spirit is very, very important, such that we have belief that whatever the 12th Imam says, we have to obey. Alright, so with these few words, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin al-ma'sumin. We have about 4 minutes left, so we will take one question, inshallah.